Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I realized that I haven't really shown my face in the past couple of weeks in the video update. So I thought I would remind you guys with my face that I'm here there is a teacher behind all of those comments and those messages and emails and texts. And that's me. So what I wanted to review today, I know I'm getting this to you a little late today, but I really wanted to review your work from session 1 to talk about anything that I saw that might help you in your research this coming week and the following weeks with your wiki. So that's why this is a little late. Couple of things I wanted to show you over here. First of all, you can see that Unit 5 is no longer there. It's missing. It's gone. I threw it away. No, I'm just kidding. It's right here in the completed units folder. Since Unit 5 is officially closed, late work was due by this past Friday, which so many of you took advantage of, so good job on that. But that's where it is. So if you click on completed units, you'll see it's right there. I just like to organize my materials that way so it doesn't clutter the space in the materials, and that you can see kind of what we're doing. And you can see we're just still working on Unit 6. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is tomorrow is virtual parent-teacher conferences, and we are about 5 weeks in, I think now, and it's time to have some parent-teacher conferences. So if your parent wants to chat with me, they can click this link right here come 6 o'clock Tuesday. I'll be there from 6 to 8. It's a good opportunity just to touch base with me if they have any questions. If they can't make the virtual and they want to come to face-to-face, I would love it. I would love to see you if you want to come to parent-teacher conferences on Wednesday. It's over at the Jeffco Center in Golden, and it's from 6 to 8 o'clock. So if you can make either of those, that would be fantastic. It's just, again, a nice opportunity to put a face with an email or a message, and likewise, I always like to meet you guys. I really do. Probably the most important thing that you're thinking about is, woohoo, Friday, no school. That's right, there's an in-service. I have to go to work virtually, but you have the day off. Now the good news is that school's never closed for us with Jeffco Virtual. So Friday, your Schoology work will be up and available. As always, our sessions are due by Sunday. It is going to be an abridged schedule this week, so the suggested schedule I do create is from Monday through Thursday, but I know a lot of you guys do your work on the weekends anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, so that's kind of all the announcements in the agendas. So click on Writing Like a Researcher, and this week, as always, we start right here, and the first thing that you do is watch the weekly video, which is what you're doing right now. Go on to the session plan by clicking right in the upper hand corner, and these are the announcements I kind of just went over. Down here is that list of assignments and the suggested schedule for the week. So today you should be watching this video and then finding additional secondary sources, taking notes and posting to the wiki. And then you should also be reviewing information on bias. Tomorrow you should find another secondary source, take notes, post it to wiki. You will be posting 2 additional secondary notes onto your wiki, on your research wiki this week. And then you will be posting 2 more primary sources to your wiki. So by the end of this week, you should have a secondary source from last week. You should have 2 from this week, so a total of 3 secondary sources by the end of this week, and then 2 primary sources by the end of this week, all posted to your research wiki, all using the format. You should be uploading those notes. Remember, that format can be Cornell, it can be a list, it could be it could be outline, it could be web. So I think the last one is sentence format. All of those formats, remember, we went over back in Unit 5. So at this point, you should no longer be just writing the notes in your wiki page. At this point, you should be uploading the notes as documents, because otherwise it's going to get really cluttered on your page. So a lot of the times what I did in grading your wiki, I put feedback in Schoology in the gradebook, and I also put notes, if necessary, into your research wiki. So be sure to check both places. Some of you remember that this was a first come first serve for your topic for this research paper. So if you picked a topic that someone else was already had already picked, I will have already messaged you. You are not able to research a topic that's already been selected, so be sure to pick an original topic from that list of times 100 people. There's lots of, there's not 100 kids in this class, in this section, and there's lots of fantastic people to research, so definitely pick one that is not being researched so far, okay? Also on Wednesday, post ideas to the narrowing of your topic to the discussion board, and then on the following day, make 2 more posts in replying to narrowing your topic on your discussion board. Remember, for your discussion board, it's not just your post, it's a discussion. So you will be graded on the post that you initially post, but also in the responses that you give other students in the discussion board. And then, of course, Friday, woohoo, no school for you guys. So click Next in the upper right-hand corner to navigate through. And these are the essential questions that are guiding our session this week. Be sure to review those and kind of reflect on those as we're going through. As I mentioned, your goal this week should be to have 2 more secondary sources that you can use for this paper. Try searching news archives such as Google News and Time Magazine archives. And as I mentioned earlier, this link takes you back to Unit 5. Find with those 2 sources, jot down notes and use these methods, one of these 5 methods, in submitting your research notes onto your wiki. And then I put the wiki down here just for your reference again. Then another thing that we're going to be focusing on this session is watching for bias. So as you look for sources for your research project, you'll want to watch out for bias in your sources. And that means when an author intentionally or unintentionally leans a story towards one viewpoint or another. Okay? So as you are doing your research, you have to look for bias in the sources because they will affect your facts, basically. So take a moment and watch this video, read through this and watch this onion video. Obviously, you know what the onion is, so you know what type of satire that's going to be. But it's definitely making fun of media bias. And they're pointing out how Weather Channel is biased towards weather stories. But it also shows you many forms that bias can take. So think through your sources and identify ones that have possible bias. You may even need to eliminate a source if you think that it's too biased to be accurate. Okay, the next thing in this session, as I mentioned earlier, you are required in this session to find 2 primary sources for your research this week. Remember, a primary source is one that has not been filtered by a writer. So in this case, it should be something written by the person you're studying. And here's a few different types of text that you can find that are research, that primary research. Okay, and again, be sure to use the outlined formats from Unit 5 and submit 2 more outline notes to your research wiki. Whew! Okay. Well, it's been really a lot of work finding some information. All you're doing this week is really researching. So by the time you're almost done, but you're also noticing some patterns and trends in the information that you're finding. So usually when you find a trend in several different sources, it means that that information is accurate and reliable. So what you're going to be doing now is looking for trends and patterns in the sources that you're finding. So check out this example right here about MLK and then create your own analysis on your research so far. And then submit it right here. And then finally, you're going to have a discussion about narrowing down your topics. As I mentioned earlier, for full credit Be sure to participate, post early and post often. That's kind of my rule of thumb. So, and that's it for the session. This is the end of the session. So be sure your additional notes are in the course wiki. You should have 3 different secondary sources. Remember, 2 from this week, 1 from last week, 2 separate primary sources. Okay, so I'll be doing all the grading of your notes in the wiki, and I'll be putting the grades into the grade book. Again, here's that wiki. If you have any questions about anything this week, like always, just contact me. I am so happy to help you. And then that's it. Enjoy your day off, your virtual day off. Have a great day, everybody.